Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we're covering Zygarde 50%. Now this is, I think it's 50% form, but yes, I have decided to cover each of the three forms in separate videos. They're fairly similar sets, but I've decided to go for three separate videos because it just made a little bit more sense in my mind rather than putting all the forms in one video. So the 10% and complete form will be coming out over the next couple of days. Before we get started today, Zygarde is a fantastic Pokemon. It is terrifying, honestly. I don't think it got Dragon Dance in the last generation. I think it's only just got Dragon Dance, which makes it a lot more scary than it was before. I'm not 100% sure on that. I know some Pokemon have got Dragon Dance that didn't have Dragon Dance before, like Kyurem, for example. But yeah. Honestly, this thing can be quite scary, can be quite terrifying to go up against. It's base 100 attack, 121 defense, 95 for special defense, and 95 speed, with base 108 in its HP as well. So it can live hits, and it's relatively fast, and it can hit hard. So it's a scary mon. It is scary. But before we get started today, if you scroll down, click the like button, also subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. So let's start off with the first set. We have got Aura Break as our ability, and Aura Break is the only ability, or it does have Power Construct, but typically you'll find if you're using it in leagues or if you're using it in just general competitive, Power Construct will be banned. Power Construct is only specifically for the 100% Zygarde, and you'd have to get it below 50%, I believe, for it to change to its complete form. So yeah, like Aura Break is the only ability that you can go for, and it breaks Dark Aura and Fairy Aura, which annoyingly is not really relevant because those are two Pokemon that are in Ubers, and Zygarde isn't in Ubers typically. So, move-wise, we have got Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance allows you to get a +1 in your attack and your speed if you can get one of those off, because you can normally live a hit. Just be cautious of, obviously, Ice-type Pokemon, because that's 4 times effective against you. But a Dragon Dance will definitely put you in a position to be able to hit really hard on a lot of different Pokemon. Now, I have put Outrage on here. Outrage is a very powerful Dragon-type attack, boosted by Stab, but it does last 2 to 3 turns, and if there's a fairy type Pokemon, you are very much putting yourself at risk. You also get confused afterwards as well, so it can be quite a risky thing to go for. The other alternative, potentially, is Dragon Tail, but Dragon Tail is a minus priority move. I'm just having a look through to see if there's many other Dragon type attacks that it learns. Breaking Swipe is a possibility. Obviously, it is a 60 base power move, so it's not going to be hitting as hard as, for example, a Dragon Claw would, but it doesn't have Dragon Claw as an option. So you've got Outrage or possibly Breaking Swipe, or you could choose not to go for a Dragon type move and just go for a coverage move in this scenario. We've then got Thousand Waves. Now this is one of the 2 exclusive moves to Zygarde. It hits adjacent foes and it prevents them from switching. So let's say you've got a really good Pokemon in against you that is not going to do any damage towards you at all, and cannot cause you any issues. If you use that Thousand Waves to lock them in, to keep them there, then you can still set up, for example, and have a really good time. And then finally, Stone Edge is just a coverage move there. You've also got things like Brick Break, Body Slam. Earthquake is a possibility instead of Thousand Waves if you're wanting to use it. Earthquake's slightly more powerful, but it doesn't have the secondary effect, so it's up to you what you decide to go for in that scenario. You can definitely run like a Thousand Waves, Toxic, Rest, Sleep Talk set if you wanted to. It's a very interesting set, and I don't think many people would thank you for it, but if you wanted to run that, that's one set I haven't put on here, but if you wanted to run it, you could definitely run that. Item-wise, there are a couple of ways you could do this. You could go for the Life Orb as an item to get 1.3 times in your attack, which allows you to just hit that little bit harder, but you could always go for the Ice Reducing Berry, which I can never think of the Reducing Berries on here. But yeah, Ice Reducing Berry, if you just search it up, because off the top of my head, I can never remember the berries. You've also got the option of running like Leftovers to get a little bit of coverage, and then you've got also options of like other types of berries, like Citrus Berry maybe, to get, again, a bit more recovery. Possibly even Weakness Policy, potentially you could live something, but it's not necessarily a guarantee, so do just consider that. Eevee's gone for max attack and max speed. I've gone for an adamant nature, so more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs and special defense. But you definitely could go for a jolly nature if you wanted to just make sure you're outspeeding those like base 100, not plus speed invested Pokemon, because they are relatively common. Moving on to the second set now. Base 81 special attack is not very good in the tier that it is in, but if you combine this with a Throat Spray Hyper Voice set, this can definitely make Zygarde a lot more viable on the special front. So, if you didn't know, Throat Spray increases your special attack by 1 if you use a sound-based move, and the sound-based move here is Hyper Voice, and that gives you a +1 in your special attack. Just be cautious, obviously, Ghost types, because the Hyper Voice doesn't hit them. You've then got Core Enforcer, which is a powerful Dragon type attack, base 100 power, and nullifies the foe's ability if the foe moves first. So if you're slower than the opponent, if you're going for more of a bulky set on this, you can nullify their ability. And if that is something like, I don't know, Guts, for example, just comes to my head. If it's a Guts Pokemon, obviously they are going to suffer greatly from not having their ability. And a lot of Pokemon do suffer from not having their ability in general. We've got Focus Blast, which is a powerful fighting type attack. It hits a variety of Pokemon, including Ice types for super effective damage, because obviously they are your biggest concern. And then finally, Scorching Sands, powerful ground type attack. You could go for Earth Power if you wanted just that little bit more power, but I think the 30% chance to burn the target can be really helpful as well. So that Scorching Sands, I think, works really nicely in Zygarde's special set. EV-wise, gone for max special attack and max speed, either with a timid nature, so more speed, less attack, and 4 EVs and special defense, or you could go for a modest nature, so more special attack and less attack, or you could go for like a max HP, max special attack, modest set to allow for that Core Enforcer to happen more frequently, because a lot more Pokemon are obviously then going to outspeed you. So it's definitely stuff that you could consider working with your team. Moving on to the third one, we've got a Dynamax set. So on here, I've put the Choice Band. Now, if you didn't know, Choice Band, when you are Dynamaxed, is not activated. So you do not get the plus in your attack, but you do not get stuck into one move. So here, we have got 4 moves that you can use when you're Dynamaxed, 3 of which I'd strongly recommend, 1 of which is just kind of a workaround. But we've got, excuse me, we've got Superpower, which turns to Max Knuckle, increasing up your attack stat by 1 stage, which would obviously help Zygarde out a lot. 1,000 Arrows or Earthquake, for example, which will turn into the Max Quake, increasing up your special defense by 1 stage. And the first hit is neutral on flying types. So the first hit is neutral on flying types. It grounds adjacent foes. So this is one way to get around the flying type Pokemon. So 1,000 Arrows, can't remember what the other one was called, it was 1,000 something, 1,000 Waves. So you've got those two moves which you can use. Obviously this one grounding foes, if you've got a team that is particularly annoying, such with like Levitates and flying types, then 1,000 Arrows can be really helpful for you to ground them. Or if you've got a team that's really focused on like ground type attacks, that could work really nicely for you. You've then got Iron Tail, which Iron Tail normally I wouldn't run, but I'm running purely because you can use it as a max Steel Spike, increasing up your defense stat, and it also allows you to hit a Fairy type potentially with a max Steel Spike, which obviously you're going to appreciate because that probably will take it out at the damage output that Zygarde will have. It also hits super effective on Ice type, same with the Superpower, so you have got a little bit of coverage there as well, especially on your main weakness. And then Body Slam, which returns to max strike, lowering the speed of your opponent. This is the only way you can really lower down the speed of your opponent there, but you could always go for like, I don't know, Dragon Tail as an example, as a possibility. You could definitely consider going for that if you wanted to. But the last move typically would just be some kind of coverage move, as opposed to a setting up move, which the other 3 are. EVs, max attack, max speed with a jolly nature, so more speed, less special attack, and 4 EVs and special defense. You could always go for a max HP, max attack adamant set if you wanted here, if you wanted to be a bit more bulky to live a few more hits. That's definitely up to you. You don't have to go for choice band. You could go for like leftovers, you could go life orb, you could go for a variety of items really, red cards. Lots and lots and lots of different things. And moving on to the final Zygarde set, we have got a special Dynamax set, which I think just works quite nicely. We've got Sludge Wave, which turns into Max Ooze, increasing up your special attack by 1 stage. Now you could use this up to 3 times to increase up your special attack hugely to 1.5 times, 2.5 times, which would be really powerful and hit lots of Pokemon for lots and lots of damage. You've got Earth Power, which is a powerful ground type attack boosted by Stab, turns to Max Quake, increasing up your special defense if you need it. Dragon Pulse, which is your strong stab dragon type attack. Typically you're not going to use this when you're Dynamax, but when you're out of Dynamax, obviously that's going to hit really hard if you set up your special attack a lot. And then Pain Split, 1 for Max Guard in case you need to when you're Dynamax, if you need to scout anything out for example, or 2 if you need to get some health back because you've been dwindling down because your Life Orb, Recoil, and possibly getting hit by moves as well when you're outside of Dynamax. That's definitely something that could work in your favour there. EVs gone for max HP, max special attack with a modest nature, so more special attack, less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. So you could run this as the bulky variant, or you could run this as a really strong speed variant as well. So maximum speed in there, but I'd recommend going for the HP to live as many hits as possible, then you can get the pain splits off to hopefully get your health back a little bit higher and dwindle the opponent's health. Obviously don't do it if their health is on like 2 HP and you're on like 100, because you're going to be the one that misses out on that. And do expect any predictions on that once you have shown that you have got the pain split. That is going to be all for Zygarde today, so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so it's been a good one, and I will see you soon.